This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk4 Media.
Good day, guys. I don't know. I forgot how to finish it. Where are your ears at?
Oh, I decided to wear a hat instead.
You look like you're going to another horse race.
I didn't get to go to the last horse race, but actually I got a new hat and I wanted to wear it today on the show. It's absolutely gorgeous. This, by the way, not sponsored. I got a new hat,
but
it didn't match. It didn't match what I was wearing. I know, but I am actually going to do a shout out to a crown sponsor that we had that Yana's supposed to send over.
Okay.
They did the crown for our runway shoot, and I'm trying to do their shout outs close to the runway shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the ones that did those gorgeous crowns.
That's cool.
And of course, shout out to Matthew Morris Fine Jewelry.
Always doing well for our sponsors. I wish we had the photos for that shoot. I'd like to put some of them up, especially the fighty ones. We took some really good shots of me in doing martial arts things. It was great. Way more important than...
Shout out to Renaissance MD for the black eyes that I still have.
Wait, I wasn't done speaking.
Nobody cares.
Okay.
No, Tim is a phenomenal photographer. We do have a photo series coming out of Bear doing some kicky underpants stuff.
I wasn't in I might as well have been in underpants. It's pretty damn short. It's my fight shorts. They're basically booty shorts.
Yeah. That's what I said. But I got to tell you, and again, shout out to Matthew Morris, Fine Joy. This is my gift to my EP, David Lyons. So men are getting really into pearls now. So we got him some specialty black pearls.
That's really cool.
And I want to move this away because of the food you're going to try today.
Yeah, I don't approve
but I
at
got
all
to tell you again,
today.
so you know, again, not sponsored. This is just really, really... I just love that we're doing it. Pickle Bear says hi.
Good day, sir.
So today one of the things trending is how many pop rocks can you get in your mouth? Oh, this one, this is blue. How many can you get in your mouth with Coca-Cola?
So here's the thing. Do you take the Coca-Cola first or the pop rocks?
Oh no,
first?
I'm pouring both packs of pop rocks in your mouth while we talk about news. So essentially,
can I at least pour it in?
Sure, you can pour this entire one in.
Why is there so many?
The whole thing.
I mean, it smells pretty good.
Excellent. We've got a bunch in the media. We have the Duchess of Sussex don't chew it full. You just put it in your mouth.
Mm.
Okay, I'm going to put this towel down just in case. I'm going to put a towel down and come in front and you fill up your entire mouth with Coke. You just drop the lid. Kimberly, and you put it in and you hold it and you try and hold your mouth closed. And you swish. Can you grab the lid? Is it doing okay? Now you hold it for as long as you can. Speaking of fuzzy things in the mouth, today we're going to be speaking with Kink4Dummies, backed by popular desire. Does Summer still love me more than Bear? I love anybody more than Bear. He's in trouble right now. We've been fighting all week. Swallow that, and you can tell your side of the story. You can't chew.
Gross.
It really didn't work. Like, it's supposed to do a thing. Let's try the other one. It didn't do anything. Don't chew it this time.
It's just gross.
Nobody cares. No one cares if you like it. Pour the whole thing in.
No one cares if you like it. I'm not a hostage. What the fuck?
Anyway, so the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle and her husband.
You know what it does do? It
Prince
immediately turns
Harry,
the liquid to a powder.
The Duke of Sussex. Put that in your mouth.
That's what he said. I care if he likes it. There you go. See, someone does like me. Mouth.
So pour it in, and I'll pour the Coke in this time.
God, no.
Because you didn't get a lot in. Come on.
Believe it or not, I did.
I don't believe. The whole thing goes in. Now, don't chew it. Don't close your mouth. You don't chew it. You pour it straight in. And then you close your mouth. That's how you're supposed to get the reaction. I think this is overblown because we've seen this online and people can't close their mouths and they can't do it. I think you have single-handedly proven you either have super strong jaw muscles and you're good at swallowing things that are bubbly and fuzzy. Now swish around. It's not doing anything. I think it's a scam. What do you think? Busted? Don't spit it out. Drink it. He's being a baby. Oh, he's spitting out the Pop Rocks everywhere. Why are you spitting out the Pop Rocks?
Pop Rocks are gross.
I kind of want to eat that, not the ones you spat out, though.
What the hell? Oh, okay.
It's still fuzzing. Even, hang on, it's still fuzzing. You got to show them this, even on the towel.
Yeah, appetizing.
That is disgusting.
That looked delicious.
I'd say that's busted. We were expecting like an explosive reaction. We are set up. We have towels. We have some water.
That was honestly just painful. Not painful, but like emotionally.
I was expecting it to be explosive. Like that's why we got it. So I think TikTok has lied to us. We tried the TikTok Pop Rocks challenge, and either Bear has really strong jaw muscles. Is there a gentleman in your life you want to tell us about?
It inflated a little bit, but honestly, it just immediately dissipated. It's not.
You got stuff in your mouth. So you think everyone's overblowing it and playing it up?
I'd never seen it once, so I couldn't tell you. How are they doing it?
They're putting it in, they're spitting it out. They're treating it like they put Mentos and Coke in their mouth.
Oh, that made me sick, honestly.
No one cares. They're treating it like they put Mentos and Coke in their mouth.
Yeah, I think Mentos would be a lot worse, right?
Oh, no, I wouldn't put Mentos in because we know what the chemical reaction is.
Yes,
this
blows up.
That's it. This is supposed to do that.
I'm
but
sure
not to the same degree.
Yeah, no, it's like it's popping in my back of my jaw, throat area, and it makes me feel ill. Honestly, don't do that. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I think it goes in the category of stuff like that. But yeah, so I didn't get to go to horse races last time, so I got a hat. Then I got a new hat, and then I got 3 new hats. I'll show them to you over the next couple of weeks.
Can you hear it of my mouth?
I can actually get close. Put your mouth right near where the sound thing is.
It's in there. I don't think they'll be able to.
Just open your mouth. He is not doing anything naughty or offering services unless you pay enough. Put your mouth forward.
Let's try.
I wonder if they can.
I don't know. I think it's too silent.
So shout out, by the way, Off-Road Rentals in Palm Springs, California. Those are our giveaways this week, and we'll be doing that with ATV rides with Kink4Dummies. And if you do well, you can actually win an ATV ride with Bear teaching you.
Yeah, special offer too. Anyone who gets my TikTok account unbanned can have a
ATV ride.
You can have an ATV ride. Mm-hmm. I need good lawyers out there.
So we're doing that. Well, speaking of good lawyers, we're having a deal with Joe's lawyer because of his crazy bitch of an ex-wife. I'd like to remind you.
Talk about that?
I don't know, but I'm calling his wife a crazy bitch, and she can sue me if she wants. Shout out, by the way, to Joe Daddy Stevenson's bitch of an ex-wife. Sue me. No, I'm sorry. This goes with like the Church of Scientology. Yeah. I was like, why'd they break up? Because she's a cheating hoe. It's a pretty simple reason. It's like Ray J's ex-wife. What was it, 40 dudes or some shit? Like she's a slut.
Yeah.
I love Ray J.
So this is when you think about it. Now you brought up Ray J.
I'm trying to fix my hair.
Not that he is related to this. No, this is important. But there's this guy named Vitali, and recently he's been going over the internet. What he's doing is he's doing those like catch a predator style videos on live stream, but he's like straight up torturing them in the video, and it's not like they don't deserve it, but the police don't get involved. They just like kind of beat these people. And then the people he collaborates with on the live stream have also been kind of like known predators, but he doesn't bring it up. Like he's gone vigilante, and he's being he's gone vigilante, but he's also bringing it on the criminals at the same time. Like
it's one of those, you want him to be a good guy, you want him to be Batman, but he's not.
He's not. So, he's like when the Joker tried to become the Batman. He's just beating up small children for littering. You understand?
I think what it is for me, like everyone gets known for something.
Yeah.
One of the dumbest things I ever did was I have waist length blonde curly hair. Nobody has that. The Ronin chick has got like red now, a red version of this. Like I'm trying to untangle it right now.
I've never heard of the Ronin chick.
She's a singer.
Oh, okay, cool for her.
But people get known for certain things.
Yeah.
And I cut off this waist length blonde hair.
Okay.
To like boob length, and it's still taking me forever to grow it back. And I wish somebody would have told me not to. Nobody out there did. I did not have one single person.
I think I hear some ghostly wails from the background.
I said I didn't have one person. I didn't say I didn't have multiple people. Tell me not to. So I didn't have one single person tell me not to. And what ended up happening is it cost me work because that's what I was known for.
Yeah.
Well, if what you're known for is being like a predator, Maybe don't go beat up other predators. It's just going to
because it's going to come out. Like one of the things that they had was he had Akon on the live stream doing it, and I didn't know. All I knew Akon from was the song "Smack That" back in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, but he's talking about 11-year-olds.
He's doing that, and he apparently was also in like South America, grinding up on teenagers. Like there's a lot of weird behavior, and there's a couple other guys who have similar allegations.
So it seems to be something, and
I don't know
that you see in cult leaders and in celebrities.
What's that?
When they get to a certain point, what is the taboo you can't have? It's like why cult leaders always go after kids.
Man, I wish it wasn't like it made more sense. I'm saying that. Sorry, how am I saying this? That makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately,
why?
Because why is it that every single head of some type of fucked up organization,
my fuzz, it's just gone.
It's touching kids? I don't like you can't have one that just wants to be a cannibal once in a while. Can't have one that wants like bestiality.
I gotta fix.
But why is it that if you start a cult, you're the head of a church, you're a top level celebrity? Why do you want to touch kids? I don't understand it.
That's why they become. So it's a power thing. Why do they join the Boy Scouts? The reality is, at a certain point, they're doing it to have access to those kids.
Yeah. Well, that I understand, but how do you get there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get to that point where that's even an option to you?
A lot of the time, pornography now. So something that people don't look at is in porn. It pushes.
Yeah, be careful how you say that. Huh?
It pushes your boundaries of what releases dopamine.
Okay.
So it gets more and more and more. So if you're starting with like the barely legal, what's next?
Well, okay, got me there. I guess they can all be heavy porn addicts.
No, it's not that they're heavy porn addicts. It's that pornography pushes the boundaries of.
So even casually watching it, like I tell people to stay away from it because I think it's dangerous, especially a young mind. But if you're like a 30-year-old and you're starting for the first time, I don't necessarily think that that's
it doesn't have the same damage to an adult brain that it does to a teenage cerebellum. Like you have issues with pornography.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely was hooked on it, and even now taking therapy to get away from it, but. For years, as a teenager, I was constantly watching it. And of course, you're always looking for the next what's up and up. What's the next thing's going to give you that dopamine release? And so now I tell people, hey, don't watch it. Stay away from it. You're a teenager. Don't even touch it. It's terrible for you. And if you've already started, stop now before it becomes a problem in your life.
My face is so swollen.
How is that related to us?
I'm sorry. All I can focus on is that my face is swollen, but I am actually
You're very beautiful.
I thank you. We are going to go back to Renaissance MD, and she's going to be doing a CO2 laser on my face, which is going to peel off my whole face. And she's going to be doing electrocuting Bear's nipples.
That's not quite what's happening. We're doing laser hair removal. But yes, it will be shocking my nipples a little bit.
She'll be electrocuting Bear's nipples and back.
Speaking of people who like to electrocute other people's nipples.
Yes, that's an excellent segue. I was going to use you blowing all that white fuzz out of your mouth. Nothing came out. He's a swallower.
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome to the show the host of Kink4Dummies and Bear's fight manager, which actually, if she likes getting people beat up, that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
And the producer of this show, Alexis Romero.
Hello.
Hey, Heidi ho, neighbor.
Why is your phone like that? Why are you doing that?
Oh yeah, you're horizontally challenged today.
You might need to fix that.
Okay.
Okay.
She'll be back.
Well, she'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, she'll be right back. She is not a cameraman. She's an excellent producer, not a cameraman. But she does look like a cassowary with her haircut right now.
Oh, right. Dangerous dinosaur looking thing.
Bird, yeah.
Snippy MMA, we'll be sure to let Alexis know exactly how you feel when she comes back on. After the orientation is fixed. Horizontally challenged. Yes, she was very vertical.
The orientation. We're sending her to a orientation conversion camp.
Orientation conversion camp. Oh man.
I know. I am actually in favor of
Don't say it.
Of gay conversion camps.
No, you're not.
Yes,
Please
I am.
Clarify.
Okay. If we send Luke Evans and I get a chance with Luke Evans, I'm in favor of that. I mean, sure, gay conversion camps, hear me out. Gay conversion camps are essentially torture. They don't work, and they, kind of try and brainwash people into being something they're not. But you know what? If it gets me a shot with Luke Evans, that is a price I am willing to pay, or a price he's going to pay.
Summer, you just wish Luke Evans was straight.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
You don't need a gay conversion camp.
I tried on him.
It's just for him.
Okay, you know what? You refuse to sleep with him and tell me what it's like.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm trying to fix my hands all.
Why don't you just go make friends with his like boyfriend or whoever he's got in his life?
Husband,
yeah.
I know, this bloody.
You're so well connected. Like I've seen the most weird. You have the weirdest people on your team who know all these other celebrities. Not one of them knows Luke Evans or his family.
Nobody will let me near Luke Evans. Apparently, they think it's inappropriate for me to try and sleep with Luke Evans.
It might be a little bit inappropriate. Who knows?
I mean, would you let me sleep with Luke Evans?
No.
Why?
Because it's inappropriate.
Ugh, shut up.
You are being, what's it called? You're not honoring me at that point.
I don't have to honor you. Why would I have to honor you?
You have to honor our commitments together.
Okay, we broke up. There you go. We are no longer together. Now I can sleep with Luke Evans. Lex, get me Luke Evans.
Luke Evans doesn't want you.
Live on BTS.
Like
everybody.
I said,
just like
gay conversion therapy.
That's not.
It is
no.
torture, but it is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
You are awful.
Now, shout out to Luke Evans. You are one of my favorite actors. No joke. They're actually doing a Gaston origin story. They just wrote the book through Disney. I really hope they cast Luke Evans in that as Gaston in the original. I thought he did a great job. As much as I joke about wanting to sleep with Luke Evans, he is absolutely one of my favorite actors and I think one of the most talented actors today.
Gaston was a terrible character. Why give him a backstory?
Because it shows you why he became a terrible character.
But then it's going to make us feel bad for him.
Yeah,
I don't want to feel bad for Gaston.
They did the same thing with Cruella de Vil. Her mother was a baroness.
That's true.
And she was a lady, and now we feel bad for her. Which means
Cruella tanked though.
It did. You can't really make somebody that wants to wear dogs. My hair isn't working today.
Your hair's
going
beautiful.
Behind me.
Just leave it.
I'm done with it. My hair's fine.
If you wouldn't have cut it off, that wouldn't have been an issue.
Well, if one single person would have told me not to.
I can't imagine if anybody would have ever told you not to.
Exactly. Nobody told me not to.
Alexis, you have some fan comments. One saying that they love you, and another one is outing me for calling you horizontally challenged.
Excellent.
Hi, Snippy.
That's not what I said. But
she is not wholly challenged. She's an excellent.
No, horizontally.
Oh no, she's quite tall.
The angle of direction.
She's 5'9". She's quite tall.
In my defense, I knew that there was something wrong with the picture. I just couldn't figure it out. It was like one of these things just doesn't belong here, and I just couldn't figure it out. I was looking at it for like 10 minutes.
I love our green screen shadow behind me.
Yeah.
He took the light, guys, and because we're trying to cover up my face because of the bruising. Mm-hmm. So I have no light next to me. I've got
you have an
hat
aura
covering my eye, a cap covering my eye, and now I have a green thing behind me. I'm doing amazing. I'm like, can I fix my hat? I can't see. Let's talk about porn with Alexis.
Corn. God's sake, you're getting banned here too.
I didn't get you banned. You got you banned.
She has a magical aura around her, the blue-green-esque kind of sensation.
I have blonde hair. Do you know how bad it is to have green behind me?
I know, right? Alexis, what's your opinion on pornography?
Pornography? You totally deserve that.
Why?
Water.
I think it has its moments that it can be beneficial to a fully developed mind.
Like when?
Like to spark intimacy or encourage it.
That's okay. I can see that. Like when do you think would be an appropriate time for someone to invest in a video or two?
When your father tries to make you put on one of those purity rings and takes you to a purity ball and gets on his knee like he's proposing to you and offers you a purity ring, it's a thing.
That was
Google it.
very
freaking creepy. I gotta tell you, my dad was never invested in my vagina. Was never a conversation. It was never something he was or is interested in. It was not something that my dad talked to me about.
Have you ever heard of a purity ball?
Actually, my dad.
No, I've heard of purity rings. The Jonas Brothers had them.
Oh, right, it's the whole thing now. It was great. Disney did it. So I'm going to catch you all up, and I'm about to sound terrible. Disney? Shout out to the Baptists out there. Yeah, they monetized it. It was genius. The point is, So this purity thing, what they do is a dad gets down on his knees in front of his daughter and pulls out a ring and asks her to save her vagina for marriage. It's not quite how he phrases it, but that's essentially it. Don't have sex before marriage. Then they have a ball where she goes in public, listens to speeches with all the other girls whose dads have given them these rings or necklaces and pledge not to have sex before marriage. Shout out, by the way, if you see a chick with a purity ring, she's actually more likely to put out. And they tend to lean into anal sex, so they stay a virgin until they're married. But that being said,
shout out to the Catholic Church.
No, we got a whole different set of problems. But that
those
being said,
those Baptists, I think probably.
Yeah, this is Baptist.
Denomination. Honestly,
this is the Baptist.
Okay.
But essentially, I'm trying to think of.
There's nothing to think about. It's just wrong.
My dad was never interested in that. Like that was never a conversation.
You to become a Victoria's Secret model.
I know. So I wanted to be a nun for a while. And my father actually turned around to me and said, you want to be a nun because you want to be a good person.
Right.
Don't go be a nun. Don't throw your life away to be a good person. You can be a good person and do anything you want. You've just been, you just have the idea that nuns are good people. And then I got offered a job with Victoria's Secret. My dad actually encouraged me to take that. So
that's fair.
Yeah, it was amazing. Well, he felt he'd been around the world by the time he was 15. He was in the Navy.
Right.
And so he wanted me to experience life, didn't want me to be a nun. So no, my father was never invested in whether or not I was sexually active. His big concern was if I had sex, was it consensual? If I was with a partner, were they nice to me?
Mm-hmm.
And no, he never got on his knees, offered me an engagement type looking ring and asked me not to have sex till we got married around other fathers who were worried about their daughters' vaginas.
It just does not come across the way they wanted to.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, how would you react to that? Let's say your husband wanted to take your daughter to a purity ball and offer her a piece of jewelry to not have sex with other people.
He buys me jewelry all the time and I don't have sex with him. It really is a very good
You make me sound terrible on these live streams.
I do it on purpose.
Mind answering the question before that?
Yeah, we still owe me. I'm just upset. He bought me a Vivienne Westwood necklace that has not come in. I think we got robbed.
We did. We bought it from China.
Yep. And
there's
so
a lot of
buying from China. We bought it from a used site because Vivienne Westwood's actually being resold right now. Yeah. It's a big thing, and I really, really wanted this necklace, and apparently he neither gets laid and I don't get a necklace, so it's perfect. Get me the necklace and Lex might.
So yeah, what do you think of the question doesn't even matter anymore. I'm not going to lie.
If you buy me the necklace, Lex might put out.
Why? Wait, not only is it a no, what your thinking here is.
Well, Lex puts out anyway. So I didn't say she put out for you. Just not the necklace.
So, Kink4Dummies, right? That's been around since what? 2015, 2016?
3 years now.
Wait, 3 years? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought it was much older than that. Okay. No,
she just put it together.
She kind of did it during the pandemic.
Yeah, she ran this show for 12 years.
Yeah.
And then
we know your information. We know you teach people kind of what is safe, what is not, rules, regulations, what is safe, sandy, consensual. And
rules and regulations.
Yeah, the whole shebang. But
why, oh why doesn't anyone want to sleep with you?
So he doesn't know the rules.
I'm such a prude.
I know. He's a poet. Don't sleep.
But why do you care what other people are doing sexually or whether or not they have the right information?
She doesn't give me information. She gives me the wrong information. Then I try and use it on you and you get upset because surprise anal is not a thing.
Okay. Fair enough. Go ahead.
I think it's important that people have the correct information, mainly because there's so much misinformation out there surrounding sex. I mean, we're in a very Puritan country. Mm-hmm.
You're in a country that sells sex, that doesn't want anyone to have sex, that has purity balls where dads talk about their daughters' vaginas.
Exactly. So I think that there is a whole bunch of misinformation out there. So why put out incorrect information and why continually let people continue with this narrative that sex is a bad thing? It's a taboo subject. You can't do it. If you do it, then you're a slut. but if you don't, then you're a prude.
Oh no, the term they used on me was frigid bitch.
Yeah, an ice queen.
Yeah,
an ice queen.
Ice queen was commonly used.
This page more like a stance against those kinds of values? So you're trying to say, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what is the purpose of the page? And if you're trying to put that kind of message out there,
if you're gonna do it, have fun with it. It shouldn't be a taboo subject. Just have the correct information if you're going to practice any type of kink, and if you want to
drive me crazy.
If you're going to practice kink, do it in a safe way, but have fun with it. It's not a taboo subject now, nor should it be.
Fair enough.
What do you think of the new trend online? It started with this rapper that does not believe in performing oral sex on women. And the whole thing is women shouldn't enjoy sex. That's the new thing online. We've gone back to 1875. Women should not enjoy sex. It's not a thing. If they do, they're a slut. That's a whole movement. The incels have taken it over.
I think everybody should enjoy sex.
Well, it's getting really big.
As long as you're of consenting age, have fun.
Well, it's getting really big in Gen Z culture. And so this is actually moving into the lexicon and the culture. And they're using terms like demure, things like that. But it's creating an environment where women who put themselves out there, be it an over-top personality, be it put themselves out there sexually, are being considered too much. They're really heavily slut-shaming Kim Kardashian now because she came up because of a sex tape. What do you think about Gen Z latching on to purity culture?
I think it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not kink shaming, but that's not necessarily a kink. You can't continually not teach sex education in the country and then constantly damn people for not having sex or having sex.
Well, there's a whole thing right now where they're talking about they banned sex education in some states. And there's shout out to this teacher. I'm not going to put his name out there. I loved watching him, but he called his entire football and basketball team in and took off his shoe, and he talked to them about sock activity. If you're going to do shoe activity, you need to put a sock on first. You pinch the tip, roll it up, the whole nine. I was really impressed with how he got around it. But the fact that we have to do this now is what's so problematic. I mean, where I come from, shout out to Australia, abortion's not a big deal.
Right. Well, that's because the church is not trying to control your ovaries.
No, we come from, I'm Catholic. We come from a super conservative country. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We believe in separation of church and state.
We used to, at some point we did, I think.
You guys added God back in because of, so heads up, here's a little history lesson before we talk about how sex gets into this.
Right.
America, you've heard the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
Yes.
In God, God, the part under God was added during the Cold War because communists don't believe in religion. They believe in the state. So America leaned into religious ideology when it was fighting the Cold War.
Yes.
Because of that, you guys had all of these weird-ass Baptist churches pop up, which is why, you know, the Catholic Church is always better than Anglican, even though I love my king. I'm kidding. It's all a mess. But so because of the Cold War, you had this pop up, and this has led to this culture in America. That was the first instance of religion being put into your politics.
Right.
Now the religion of your candidates, their morality is on trial. I didn't like Donald Trump. I didn't like Biden. Personally, I wrote in that you guys should be returned to the Commonwealth. My vote was you should be returned to the Commonwealth because clearly you cannot govern yourselves, and shame on all of you. But I didn't care who Trump slept with. I didn't care if he slept with a porn star. I didn't care who Clinton slept with. Not my problem. Not my clowns. Not my rodeo. I didn't care who anyone sleeps with. Can you govern? So that's the thing. And no, by the way, no one you guys have chosen can govern. Back to the Commonwealth. Shame on all of you.
We're just losing all of our rights again.
Pretty much. Shame on you. But that mindset that came out of the Cold War allowed religion to seep into your politics. It's why abortion was banned. It's why all of these things happened. And then you allow religion and religious groups to have a vote. And that becomes problematic. So in your case, I know online now they're saying purity culture is getting larger and larger and larger. do you think your popularity is kind of a counter to that purity culture? Because there really aren't a lot of places now for people to go. They're shutting down sex sites. They're shutting down websites. So people are learning from pornography rather than learning from school or science.
Pornography makes more money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's counter it, but I think that it can be where it makes it more difficult, but I think still putting out the information is necessary, even if it has a growing popularity with the purity culture.
You know, as we're talking about it and mentioning Hollywood and heads of state involved in this too, do you guys think that Hollywood is any way to either, or has been, making the purity movement more prominent or working against it?
Shout out to Sniffy, he's 592, and Delure. This episode promises to reveal the spiciest secrets of the stars. Definitely tuning
in for all the steamy details. Thank you, Delure.
I appreciate that. The ironically, it's not just the stars, but we can talk about Armie Hammer's kink in just a minute because we're going to.
Of course. But again, do you guys think that Hollywood in any way is making the purity movement stronger or weaker?
Hollywood just follows a trend. It doesn't give a shit. Hollywood's about money. So the one thing I'm really good at is making money. I'm very good at making money. I make TV shows. I'm good at that. I'm also good at spending it. So thank God I'm good at making it. But
fair enough.
We aren't concerned with morality. We've always had morality pushed on us through the Hays Code, through the FCC. We've always had morality pushed on us, but we push back. The first PG-13 movie to have the word fuck in it was The Third Guardians. And it was said by Chris. It was said by Chris Pratt. I know we don't like the Third Guardians. We don't like the Third Guardians because it went to Disney and somebody didn't get to work on it, and she's a little butthurt.
You worked on the first two,
and she's a little butthurt.
All right,
we can tell
it's not good enough.
But it's Disney that is the largest purveyor of porn. They push the Jonas Brothers to the point.
Don't talk shit about Disney. We're working for them right
now. It's not shit. It's truth.
Yes, but that means talk nicely because they are good, open, fair people.
I think it's brilliant what they do.
Listen, I know you guys work for the mouse and all, but they did just try and sweep the fact that they poisoned somebody's wife and had her unalived under the rug so that they couldn't sue for money. So I don't work for Disney. I could say it.
Yes, you do.
What do you mean I do?
You do. The TV show. You're on a Disney corporate show.
Yeah.
All right. They totally didn't try and do that.
Those ears are going to turn into mouse ears than bear ears.
Bear.
This is Jared the mouse Fiorda.
Mm-hmm. Jared the mouse's bitch Fiorda.
Yes.
Yeah, it just keeps getting worse.
When you talk about kink,
speaking of kink, the bitch.
Yeah. When you look at kink in Hollywood, it's a very, very common thing. Mm-hmm. You have, a bunch of control freaks, a bunch of, type A personalities.
Yeah.
Pushing to be the center of what's going on. You do end up with a lot of people that are into kink. There are a lot of swingers in Hollywood, but the biggest one they talk about is Armie Hammer. So
because he's the one that got outed right now.
Well, it's more than that. So full transparency, we actually reached out and offered Armie Hammer a partner show.
Right.
Just straight up. I think he's a good dude. I think he's a bad dude. I don't know him. I know a couple people that dated him.
Okay.
But the biggest thing he did was cheat on his wife. But because people were uncomfortable with his fantasies, it's not like he actually ate anyone. Because people were uncomfortable with his fantasies, that became a problem. Marilyn Manson is kind of in the gray area where everyone's saying he did this stuff, but the flip side is it was in writing, people agreed to it, so where's the line?
Well, their main problem, I think, is that the people who he slept with or had in that relationship said that it was non-consensual. He's saying that it was consensual. Right.
They signed actual contracts.
They did. And I guess, here's the next thing is, can you really sign a contract without being aware of what it means? And honestly, I think yes. I think if you put your name on it before you fully understand what's going on, you still agree to it. Now, I don't know if he did anything that broke contract. I don't know if he did anything abhorrent that didn't go into what they agreed to. But if he wrote something out for you and you put your name on the line and you didn't understand a piece or you didn't read it all, I don't know what you expect. You're an adult now.
I think it depends on what state of mind they're in. Like, a big part about kink is safe, sane, and consensual, meaning if they were in a drug state of mind or even down to having alcohol, then they can't fully consent.
No, of course not. I 100% agree. I do not think that was what I was trying to explain right now with the conditions. Like, if you're in a perfect state of mind and then went ahead and did all that, I don't know what to tell you. You know, is it really his fault if you were in a good state and didn't ask questions or didn't say I don't like this?
The argument is the girls were 18, 19. They didn't realize. Here's the thing. You're legal at that age.
It sucks.
I know everyone complains that like this 40-year-old dude's dating this 20-year-old chick, but the reality is when you're legal, you're legal. We have legal for a reason.
Yeah.
Like I have no problem. I don't care if they're 80 dating a 19-year-old. That is not my problem. Not my problem. 16-year-old, nah, man. 15-year-old, go to jail. But
it's just like Courtney Stodden dating Hutcherson.
Everyone turned on Courtney Stodden. I was on that bandwagon. I was like, what a bitch. And then you look at the situation and you're like, holy shit, this poor little girl.
She was sold to that guy.
By that bitch of a mother.
Do you know, speaking of this right now, how old the girlfriend of the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers is?
Currently?
Yes, currently.
How old?
19.
Okay.
And he's 61.
So what?
But that's my point. That's a legal adult making that decision. It's weird.
If people are complaining that you're dating a 19-year-old, I will date you.
There was someone online saying that.
I take that as consent.
Yeah.
There are people online talking about how they personally were closer to the age of when the girl was born. So like if they were dating her when she was born, that they'd be more in the right than he is right now.
I married, hang on, here's this. I married when I was 18. He's 10 years older than me. We're separated, obviously, years ago. Great guy, really, really good man. Bear knows him. He and I get along like great guy. He was 10 years older than I am. And we got married right before we went to Iraq. Bear was 18 when we started dating. The reality is, I don't give a shit as long as they're legal, and I don't care if it makes people uncomfortable. We have gotten to a point that we are regulating other people's behavior. It's past kink shaming. We are at a point that we are canceling people because we don't like their politics, we don't like their views. And I get it. If you think somebody is a douche, don't put your money in it.
Right.
I have no problem with that. But I do not believe as a society our discomfort should affect the lives of others ever.
Well, people are getting canceled down to their humor, their sense of humor.
I have a foul mouth and a terrible sense of humor.
Right.
I'm Australian. I offend everyone. Meghan Slutbag Markle is a very, very good example of that. I have no problem with somebody screwing their way up the social ladder.
Yeah.
If you are a social climber, I wish you success. If you are trying to nail your way to money, like Anna Nicole Smith did, I hope you get your bag. I have no problem with that. You should not be stuck in the circumstances you were born with. And if what you were born with was looks and that's what you used to get ahead, points to you. My problem with the Duchess of Sussex is that she lied about the royal family, that she created
and continues to do so.
Oh yeah, regularly.
And she's using that for clout. The truth is, I have no problem with a social climber, but Wallace 2.0 is problematic. And she's going to these countries and undermining the monarchy. And, you know, you had Wallace and the former king that went and saw Adolf Humperdinck. And I think if he was alive today, slutbag and idiot, and I'm calling my prince, I loved Prince Harry, but I'm calling him an idiot. He is an idiot for who he married. He came from a world where it never occurred to him that someone would have the audacity to lie to him. It never occurred to him that somebody would behave that way, and that's fine. But here's real life. Your value is that you are a prince. I'd marry you because you're a prince. Alexis would marry you because you're a prince. People will social climb. Let them. I don't care. Points to them.
I don't know if he's an idiot. I think that he is very much in an abusive relationship with somebody that constantly gaslights and manipulates. I think it's a very different situation. I think he came from a very sheltered life, and now he is with somebody that is a complete narcissist. Okay. But not like the loose term narcissist, but an actual narcissist.
Right.
I had a very sheltered life. I have landed in bad relationships plenty. I've been lucky enough to have people pull me out of them. He had his family intervene and try and stop it. He didn't listen.
But he didn't want to listen.
But that's it.
The only time where help is useful is when you want the help.
But he was being sold something that he was never able to attain.
That's true. She was selling him, so you guys know, she was selling him, they're going to move to South Africa, they're going to leave public life and just live together happily as a family.
Yep. That's definitely not what they did.
Nice ring to it.
Thank you, Sniffy. That definitely didn't happen, though, did it? They moved to the States. They bought a bunch of property and a bunch of things that they can't afford, so they're constantly in need of money. Hence, they're taking financial deals with Colombia to go over there and promote whatever they're talking about. That has zero to do with that stupid trip of theirs.
They're putting on faux royal tours.
Pretty much.
Anyway, we got way off track.
We are definitely off topic from the sex industry.
Why? So women like Meghan Markle, who start as like yacht girls and use sexuality to control men, shout out, get your bag. No problem on my end. If you can social climb, social climb.
Right.
Do you think there should be a moral line with that, Madam Kink4Dummies? You're a dominatrix. You control men.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that as long as they are consenting to this behavior and it's not an abusive situation, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Right.
Where does the line go from kink to abuse?
When it's not consensual.
Okay, but what about the guy in Germany who consented to be cut up and murdered because he found it sexually appealing?
Then he was still consenting to it.
Well, the guy that ate him ended up in prison.
Well,
I understand that.
Question about that, because let's say I'm into being eaten, right? Like it's really hot. Like some dude, there's a chef who got his rocks off by cutting his own thing off and serving it to people to be eaten, right?
This was a stunt saying that sexuality shouldn't be a thing.
Okay, yeah. I was misled entirely.
It was a whole art piece thing.
Got it.
Yeah, and he castrated himself and cooked it.
Okay, well then how about let's use a different example. Clearly I misunderstood that one. But my point is, let's say I want to be eaten up a little bit. The moment someone cuts a hunk out of me, I can't imagine how flaccid I would be. Do you understand? Like it's in my head, it's like, oh, this is gonna feel so like it's immediately. It's not gonna happen. I'm definitely not keeping it up, to say the least. So how on earth can you get gratification out of it?
But they may keep it up.
That could be a masochist, but it could also be somebody that is mentally ill. Like there is a difference. You would have to gauge whether this is somebody that, you know, has an extreme fetish.
Yes.
Did you see what I got Bear for his birthday? Lex and I got it for him. Very pretty. Peridot. Keep going.
Okay.
He's a Leo.
I think that you have to judge whether or not this is somebody with an extreme fetish or if this is somebody that's genuinely mentally ill.
I think at that point then you can make the argument that both parties are probably a little bit mentally ill.
Because when you go into mental illness, you get suppressed on TikTok.
Got it.
Okay, well, anyways, something's wrong with both parties.
Good word.
If they both, if one wants to be eaten and the other one is happy to eat it, you know, I would think at that point there is an issue on both ends. Not just I can't sit there as the cannibal and be like, "Are you in your right state of mind to decide if I really want to eat you?" I kind of like calling the pot calling the kettle black, you know, or the whatever that phrase is.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, where's the line?
Yes. At what point can we decide?
I think people need to use their better judgment.
What if they don't have good judgment? Because this comes back down to the Armie Hammer thing. If people agreed, you know, one of the girls he went out with, we're not going to say who, but she was pretty messed up.
Yeah. I think that gut feeling that everybody gets, that whether they choose to ignore it or not, like, you know, good or bad.
No, not everyone. I gotta say, not everyone does. I would walk up to a crocodile and kiss it. I grew up in I was very lucky.
Okay, not everybody has common sense, but
fair.
Yeah, I think there's a level of morality in most people that are kind of on the similar wavelength. Because generally speaking, in most cultures, you're going to find a good amount of people from each who are going to say, yeah, you probably shouldn't unalive that person over there because that's morally reprehensible. Some people are okay with it. Some cultures endorse it, I'm sure, like sacrifices once upon a time. But in the modern age, I think it's fair most would disagree with it being a good idea. So there seems to be some crossover. I swear if you spit that water at me.
I wasn't planning on it. I was looking at you. Keep going.
I don't think you need more water. Anyways, my point is just that it is, everyone can agree on, most people can agree. It's, I just don't understand how someone could disagree with that. As a
You're so jumpy today.
I'm just protecting myself.
So, yeah, I can get his hand out.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was afraid for my life and other people's lives.
Do you think
I did not consent to that.
Where do you think the line goes then? What kind of education about kink do you think people should be given? Because you have to know about it. I personally knew absolutely nothing about it until I met you.
Well, I think then it comes down to what information, because I've given you information over the years. What information do you think would be pertinent to people? Because I know I put out the information, the basics of, if you're uncomfortable with this, say no, say stop.
No.
If you
stop.
But everybody needs to respect those boundaries that people put in place and actually go with them. Like some people say that no and stop isn't a thing. Like you have to have a safe word. Well, then use those safe words. But you know where your parameters lie.
Now, what if your parameters are, hey, I want to give you boundaries and I want you to break them? That becomes a little more muddy. Because now we start talking about the sensual non-consent, the sexual non-consent, SNC. How does that kind of work into
what if
make
only
sure you
one
have safe
party
words
likes the non-consent thing?
You work
CNC.
with it.
Consensually non-consent.
Oh, consensually non-consent. I said sensual non-consent.
Yeah, that's because you like it.
Anyways, how does that work into the whole having boundaries and keeping safe?
I think it goes back to you need to have the communication with your partner and see if they're not into it, where the compromise lies.
Okay.
And if that's something that's a hard boundary for them, then you don't continue with that. But
at what point? Yeah.
It's at that point, it's debating whether or not the relationship is something that's going to continue. Because if one person is adamantly against this and one person is adamantly in favor of it, that's obviously there's either has to be compromise or you need to find somebody else.
At what point do you know whether or not it is acceptable to move forward? Right? Because that's what I'm saying. If you understand that, hey,
they consent.
Sorry?
If they consent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They say, hey, I want you to break this, that, and the other boundary. Because this is what I'm into. What is a good way for the other person to know, oh, I have gone too far in this direction?
If they say stop. If they go with a mutually agreed upon or a mutually agreed upon stop. Like there is some people they say that they become nonverbal. And so during an action they'll
wait, I'm sorry, I'm messing with Bear while we're doing this, but what do you mean nonverbal?
Where they don't speak. And so they've had a agreed upon, like they'll be holding something. If they drop it, that's where the scene ends.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't always have the ability to speak, especially if you're using a ball gag or something. So therefore it becomes a physical, you have to pay attention to your partner, be aware of what they have going on.
Right.
And obviously if you tie something too tight, be aware of it, have the proper safety measures. And if you're doing bondage, have the appropriate either scissors or something to be able to cut it off, take precautions. and do things safely.
If you want to make a man lose their erection, what do you do?
Right, that right there, I'm sure.
No, let's say they're in their 20s, right? And pretty much they're just a walking erection. What do you do to make them lose it?
I
was talking about their mother because they get really upset when you do that. I've heard.
I don't know. You that's not something I put out on Kink4Dummies.
How to get rid of an erection. Not a part of the channel's description. That is not what I'm here to do. You have to go to somewhere else. You have to go to one of those purity balls to find that information.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. That would definitely do it. Now, for people that want to find you, they can find you on Kink4Dummies, right?
Yes, everywhere.
Okay.
Excellent.
We are at the end of the show.
Yes,
Alexis, thank you very, very much for coming on. I know we joked around a lot. I try and keep it very, very light when you're on, but I do like to encourage people to go check it out. Sex is not something that is discussed enough in this country. It is something people are uncomfortable with. I try and joke about it as much as possible and make it, essentially, if you can make it light and fun when people are making mashed potato sounds, great.
Mac and cheese.
Making mac and cheese sounds, great. But it isn't something to be ashamed of. Remember to masturbate regularly. It's healthy. And please follow Kink4Dummies.
Have a good day.
Beautiful.
Thank you for joining us. You're welcome. Next week, we will be having on the gentleman from Pillow Talk. Ryan, I'm actually doing a show with him. Nobody knows, it's a secret.
Got it.
We'll also be following me while I get a CO2 peel and while we zap Bear's nipples with electricity.
And back, hopefully. Get rid of the back hair.
How low can we go?
Not that low. But in any case...
Thank you for joining us on Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene, and we are on with my co-host, the mouse's bitch, Bear Fiorda. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk4 Media.